Oh, hey everybody. That was Mr. T, but T-E-A like the Earl Grey variety, not tea like the ice variety. And when I say ice variety, I mean the wrapper, not the actual beverage. So it's not that, if that makes sense. I can draw you a diagram if you're curious to see how we got to that designation at the very end. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for the great bits. Welcome. It's Tuesday, my dudes. What are we going to do today? Oh, I mean, I didn't really know until 10 minutes ago, but I thought to myself, hey, this We the Revolution game, that looks fun. It looks papers pleasy. It gives me the opportunity to impart my own story on the game. That looks cool. Let's check it out. Picked it up on Steam. No review copies necessary. Secondly, Hypnospace Outlaw. That's what it's called. People have been asking for it for a while. I've been like trying to find a place to put it on. Yeah, we'll put it on there. Purchased it myself. No review copy necessary. Then, I don't know. Like, I have a bounty. It's related to the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 is in the living room so I can play F1 2018. Maybe I'll bring it back. Maybe I won't. I don't know. And to fill some space, we always got a little bit of Tetris 99. Or who knows? Maybe we'll be enjoying the first two games. We'll play them for an extra half hour each or something. Team Unity Tuesday. We're going to be playing some Satisfactory, I think. We're having some problems with coordination. Team Unity Discord has been bumping, and yet simultaneously, not everybody has the game. It's okay. It happens from time to time. People are busy. We still got 3.5 hours before that part of the show even starts, so I wouldn't even worry about it right now. We did have a slight bit of RAV. Appears to be handled. Let's play some We the Revolution. I'm just going to let you know it might be loud. You just give it a moment. I've got no control over the volume until the game actually loads up. Just kidding. I've solved it. Okay. Studio mode. Also Satisfactory over Terraria. Why? We're gonna hit a moment very soon where Terraria is gonna become an auto mute word. You ever hear the methodology of quicksand? You know, when you get yourself stuck in quicksand, all you gotta do is wait for Indiana Jones to come in with a lasso and pull you out. The more you struggle, the more you move the quicksand around, the deeper you sink. The more non-top rights that say, I'm not gonna watch because you're not playing Terraria, the less likely we are to play Terraria. It's just as simple as that. In this case, Indiana Jones is Austin. One day, he's going to break down the barriers we have surrounding Terraria. Once that's done, he can pull us out. But every time you struggle and go, why are you playing Tetris instead of Terraria? You sink a little further, and you're honestly making Austin's job a little bit harder. I say that out of respect for my good friend Austin. Exactly. All according to Keikaku. It's just you? It's not just me, brother. Didn't you hear last week? Dan's got hesitations as well. About so many things, but not about you. This is me, Northern Lion. Send it, dude. Start. Do me a favor and give me a slash marker as well. Here we go.
I am here.
Je suis here.
Do you hear me?
Écoutez-vous moi?
I gave you the best I could.
Un gâteau pour moi, s'il vous plaît?
did you disown me?
No chance.
I have your blood in my veins. How could you?
Je suis mourir.
Do I mean nothing to you?
That's all I got, dude. It's been a long time.
Why did you grieve for him? He was nothing. I am better than he was. People will follow in my footsteps. Father.
Into my hands, I commend your spirit. Hey NL, Ratatouille is the only movie I ever cried at. How old am I? I'm going to say that you're around like 21 years of age. You saw Ratatouille when you were still emotionally pliable, but since then you've reasoned that emotions are a sign of weakness, or maybe just too much time spent online has deadened the neurons, and as a result you have not cried since that movie. But you'll get there one day, I promise. One day you'll be watching a kid's movie and like a dog will die, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, why do I feel things again? Or like a football team will win a game they're not supposed to win, and you'll be, you know, drowning in tears, dude. Remind me next time I want to stop drinking this cloudy rot gut. Remind me before I drink it. We're disgracing Themis. Is someone coming? I like this. This was bound to happen. So I believe that I am a judge in revolutionary France. The guy looks small because we're sitting up on the dais here. You know what I mean? This was bound to happen. I told you. Papa, you said we would go. You promised. Papa had a lot of... yes, a lot of heavy glasses. You promised me. I can't anymore. I'm fed up with asking. Mama is angry. Don't give me this Baba is you stuff. Today, your favorite son wanted to prove he was more honorable than his father, so he started a fight. A 5-year-old boy, for God's sake. Our neighbors wanted you to explain that to them, but while you were fighting for justice at an inn, damn you, you bloody drunk. Mother. Oh my God, it's a whole family reunion. It's like a Revolutionary Era Judge Judy episode. Drag and drop documents to manage their layout. Click to display their contents. React to events. Ignoring them may have severe consequences. Review detailed information about current events, actions, and characters. Consider the effects and decide the defendant's fate. Change the game settings. Review current balance of power in Paris. Intrigues or complex conflicts between you and another political player. A defeat may turn out to be disastrous for you. Influence points are the main currency in the game. Pay close attention to the changes in your influence and relations with factions. All right. Global modifier. Some of your decisions and changes in the world of the game may cause global modifiers to come into action. These factors affect relations, reputation, and influence. You can review them in the notebook. I'm ready to begin. Thank you. Perfect time for a tutorial to end. Just as I was starting to be like, I'm going to click through the next one without even reading it. Case file. To Judge Alexis Fedele, we have not expected this kind of behavior from your son, although apparently we should have. Innocent child's play turned into assault on our children. What happens to innocent? Find the correct links to unlock questions for the defendant. Choose a line of inquiry and link it to the right category. Okay. While linking lines of inquiry and categories, you can make a limited number of mistakes. If you make too many mistakes, the whole system will become locked. In some cases, there may be traps. Read through the files thoroughly to find the lines of inquiry that are irrelevant. I'm ready. Take me back. I don't want to do this part yet, all right? Let's read the case file. Innocent child's play turned into an assault on our children. The younger one, Antoine, now has a chipped front tooth. We hope that you will punish your child accordingly. Should the situation repeat itself, we will react more decisively. I'm sure we can deal with a gambler and a drunkard, even if he is a judge. We will not let our children be hurt. All right. Chipped front tooth. That's an assault. That's an assault as well. I mean, this is Antoine, I suppose. And that's innocent child's play. All right, but first, let's go look at the news, dude. Make your decision. Each action requires a different number of influence points and has a different chance of success. Consider them carefully. Neighborhood gossip. Your addictions are no longer a secret. The fact that other children are bullying your son because of them is a minor problem, but who's spreading those rumors? It's likely to be one of the parents. They could have whispered into their children's ears whom they shouldn't play with and why. They might have even spiced the story up with a lie, but who will hear it next? Okay? Okay. And in the notebook, here's our relations with the people and the power. Reputation, so far so good. Influence is +3 right now, per day, I guess. Probably not going to give the death penalty to my own son. All right, so let's get it started here. Maybe I'll click hierarchy real quick just to see. Oh, we're way at the bottom here. Just wanted to see if maybe we could speak to these guys. No speaking necessary. All right, let's start asking some questions, all right? I know. Okay, don't worry about this just yet. Let's start asking some questions. Is it innocent child's play? Because, let's think about this. Hold on. I'm confused temporarily. We have to create links between two things. Bake him away. So the victim is Antoine. Question discovered. Okay. Extenuating circumstances. It was my man being bullied. Wrong. Caught in a trap. All right. Okay, hold up. We're going to back it up a little bit because we got a question for him. Hey, defendant, who started the fight? I can tell you. You're not on trial here, Bernard. I think it was me. I kicked the one on the left and then wanted to get the one on the right, but they ended it. They knocked me to the ground and paid me back for hitting them. Okay. What else we got here? We got 3 more questions to reveal. Okay, extenuating circumstances. I mean, chipped tooth. Look at it. That's a course of events. Question discovered. Did you really break Antoine's tooth? I don't know. I don't think so. Did you hit him in the face? I think I kicked him, but not that hard. Okay. That's not Antoine? I don't know about that one. We've only got child's play and fighting children. And child's play, that's a course of events, dude. Question discovered. What exactly were they saying? I was not asked. Yeah. They were yelling that you are. Well, I told them that it's not true. They started to call me a drunkard's son. Told you, dude. One more question. There is no doubt we're going to get this. Extenuating circumstances. Fighting children. Ah! Okay, we got it. Then it's obvious. Course of events. Fighting children. Easy. All questions unlocked. Guaranteed. I told you. How did your play turn into a fight? Our neighbors, Antoine and Jean, they were saying mean things about you. We were playing guards and they asked me to pretend to be a drunkard whom they would, you know. You were fighting both of them at once? I had to. Alright, well, it's time to issue a verdict here, I suppose. For everything that we're aware of so far. I mean, here's the thing, dude. He's guilty. There's no doubt about this. My own son is guilty in this situation. He completed the assault. I gotta hit you with the G on this one. Do you even know what innocent and guilty means? Was there an element of self-defense? I don't believe so. I believe they insulted him with their words, and then he started punching them. That's not the way we live in a modern society. Okay, let's talk eye to eye. Influence points -1. Yeah. What do I get as a result, though? We don't know yet. Alright. Well, I'm sorry to tell you. You are guilty. There's no question about that. I find them guilty of the defense of which they were charged. Unfortunately, you should not start fights regardless of the reason. Bingo. Those children are so small and they already know the truth. The father of my children is a lying drunk and a gambler. Bernard used to worship you, but he soon grew up. Now it is Frederique's turn to learn the truth that echoes in the streets.
You're playing a law-related game and you're not saying, Yigiari! You have to say that.
I don't know, Kate. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the Phoenix.
Oh, I haven't played Phoenix right.
Yigiari means like, what's
objection.
It? Objection,
yeah.
exactly.
He's no longer fearing your anger. He knows that your threats are empty. Frederique is only starting to learn the truth about his father from the streets.
Objection!
My wife.
I'm out.
Thank you. I was unaware that Matilda had such a temper, as was I. We will wait outside, as always. Now, should you be able to try a 10-year-old child for assault? I would say probably no. But I don't make the law.
We were enchanted by the idea of freedom. We could not resist it.
Why do all the characters look like Polygon author headshots?
Whole families took to the streets. France was never so happy.
You know what's crazy? If I had said that my son was not guilty, you know what the papers would say? Like, privileged judge makes his son get off on a technicality. Oh, it's nepotism in France, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're playing favorites. If just an average person had been put up in front of the judge, they would have been hanged. That's why you stick to the criminal code. It's written there for a reason. Expected sentence. Find out which verdict is expected by the factions and your close ones. Okay? Expected sentence, acquittal by the revolutionaries, prison by the common folk and the family. Let's read the circumstances of the case file. One of the local merchants, Guy Dignot, went to the National Guard station near the halls. With a raised voice, he stated the owner of a neighboring stall had purposely poured wood tar into his barrel of herrings. For this supposed crime, Dignot demanded a proper punishment. Soldiers went to the halls and established the herrings did indeed tasted awful. Since there was no evidence of the crime, they did not take any action. A few hours later, the guards returned to the halls. This time it was the formerly accused Jean Courbet who called for them, and there was a plethora of evidence on the site. The clearest being Dignot himself, smashing his neighbor's stall with a long wooden pole in front of witnesses. All right. So it was a taste of revenge for Guy Dignot. Next page, please. Page 2. Take me back. Page 2. I would like to report that Citizen Courbet does not pay the city for his stall. Furthermore, he openly criticizes the new rule when talking to his clients. All right. The jury has not revealed its verdict yet. Well, what the heck do I need to be here for? Okay. This is rapport. Let's take a look at the hierarchy. Everything's going fine, but Robespierre, of course, up at the top. That's not a surprise, honestly. How are things going in the news? The father had a rare episode of foolishness when he decided to stand up to someone stronger, threatening him with a fist and showing his children they are safe by his side. He did not listen to your arguments. Furthermore, he gave a precise description of where he can shove them. You know what? Seems like this is an ignorable situation for me. Sorry, that's 2 documents. There we go, page 2. The furious merchant was shaking his fists and yelling, "Where were you when this scoundrel stole my place near the entrance?" The guards did not stop to ask for details, but disarmed the vigorous merchant and put him in jail. While drawing up the report, one of the officers found an old denunciation that had been written by Dignon 2 years ago. Okay. Well, let's start to have a conversation. Your name? Dignon, fresh fish since 1772, and a vandal since yesterday. I'm not proud of what I did, but enough is enough. Good, it's a freaking, it's an admission of guilt, dude. He's guilty. Really? Like when 6 months ago you stole 8 francs from my revenue? Some urchin took that from your pockets while you were... Silence! Yes, I agree. You're in contempt of the court, mister. You shall not speak until questioned. Jury. Systematically opposing the opinion of the jury may lead to serious consequences. Well, okay. Commence the trial. Boom. So this is how we review our dialogue that's been spoken. Fair enough. All right, let's start to get some questions answered here. NL, in France, there's a law that says saying you don't regret what you did isn't an admission of guilt. I think this is a riff on the reality of the Canadian situation where if you apologize for something, it doesn't count as an admission of guilt. Is that correct? All right, let's think about this here. 4 questions to reveal. Well, what about counter-revolutionary propaganda? Counter-revolution. Question discovered. We found your denunciation. It's going to make them more likely to acquit. We found your denunciation of Citizen Corby. Why did you write it? He did it because I started selling sprats. I don't know what that means, dude. Shut up already, Monsieur le Juge. I wanted to help the city. Every stall order pays for their place in the halls. Corby should play too. You liar and crook. Don't you remember hiding from the royal collector at the butcher's? Silence. Dude, I'm going to throw them both in the freaking chokey, man. I was trying to avoid royal taxes. You only started after the beginning of the revolution. Be quiet, both of you. All right. All right, so the jury is more likely to acquit now. Interesting. Now, the instrument of the crime is a wooden pole. Question discovered. What products does... Uh-oh. They're going to ask for the freaking death penalty if I click this one? Maybe we should try to... ask for some... I mean, I don't necessarily think the man should be killed. That seems a little bit, you know, reactionary considering the circumstances. All right. What about crime scene stall next to the entrance? Easy. What's your question here? Citizen... Oh, influence on the jury's opinion? We don't know. Citizen Corby, come closer. Oh. Here we go. Did you really dispute the new order? Is it true that you took Guy Dignot's place at the entrance of the halls? Is it true that you took Guy Dignot's place at the entrance of the halls? He took the place first from a dead merchant. I only did the same at a convenient time. Well, this guy's a real son of a gun. Let me tell you that. Was that your first conflict? In the late 70s, when that tight-fisted churl asked me to lend him 30 francs, it took me 2 years to get it back. Citizen Dignon, I can see that you wish to add something, but please refrain from doing so. Look, he's got decorum. He's already improving his case in the eyes of the judge and jury. A few hours passed between Citizen Dignot's visit at the station and your vandalism. What happened during those hours? Dude, I was just singing your praises, man. He continually mocked my stinking herrings. Nothing much, only the usual trade. And all of a sudden, Guy Dagnon reached for a pole and began to destroy your stall. He went wild, like an animal. Citizen Dagnon, please stop making a fool out of me. So I don't really know. That didn't seem to help your case too much, brother. I'm just being honest with you here. An old denunciation is the only thing that we can go with here. So I gotta think that we're going like old denunciation offender's personality. Uh-oh. Okay, it would appear that your conflict has continued for some time now. That seems like a more pertinent question. It all started when that scoundrel placed his stall where mine should be, next to the entrance. It wasn't your place. You took it after old Choquette. Silence, and you have not been able to reach an agreement ever since? Now that I think of it, it may have started even earlier. Jean once refused to pay for a red mullet taken by his wife. My whole family fell ill because of that rotten carcass. You should be happy I didn't. Must I repeat myself? Be quiet or you will both be in more trouble than you're in already. Dude, okay, you know what? I mean, I don't think this is execution. I think this is just guilt. Let's ask the question. What products does Citizen Corby sell? Fruits and vegetables. And you sell fish? Straight from Yport and Petit Deleuze. I see. Then why did one of you come to the halls with wood tar and the other with a wooden pole? Got him. I don't remember. The stick must have been lying near the stall. Kirby, however, clearly planned his actions. Well, I mean, a little bit of a tough one here. Definitely seems like he did the time, or he did the crime, and the jury does want acquittal. I'll give you that. Is there a space in between? Like, I've been watching a lot of this Australian show called Court Justice. And like 90% of people get a guilty verdict. But they always give them a guilty verdict that's like, hey, give me $2,000 and don't do anything bad for a year. And then you're good to go. That's pretty much what, like a $2,000 bond. I feel like there should be like a little bit of a space in between prison or death and pure innocence. Like, he's guilty, but simultaneously, you know, is it worth taking him out of society at this point? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to render a verdict of not guilty, but you guys are sentenced to 12 months of hard marriage. You got to learn to deal with your problems. You can't constantly be breaking each other's shit with wooden poles. You gotta learn to use your words. You know, we're living in the Enlightenment. You're acquitted. Common folk are not too pleased. The common folk, though, they always want blood. If the game's programmed right, every time we acquit somebody, this should go down to friggin' 0, honestly. Anybody accused is guilty. You see that Madeleine McCann documentary yet? Anyway, I sign it. It is not the role of the justice of the court to appease the common folk. It's the role of the justice to uphold the laws and ensure the functioning of society. Your personal disputes should not be resolved in court, Citizen Dagnon. You're free to go, but I'm ordering you to move your stall. Good idea. He should move his herrings closer to the bins. No one would smell the difference. You know what, buddy? Off with your head. I think we did okay there. Moving on. After a trial, click to move on to the next part. May I remind... Why is it so dark? This is pre-electric lighting, dude. May I remind you, you promised to join me. I have a feeling that tonight's moon favors gamblers. No, I'm changing my life. No more gambling. Though it does not favor spouses. God should grace us with wives who understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know the right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll. This is actually like modern day Twitter. Self-care, equals a bottle of Chardonnay. I should go home. Alexis, you know. Bringing a judge to the game has benefits. Other players will surely not cheat. This is not a strong argument. See? My name is Jacques-Louis David. I am but a humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You are a sly politician, Jacques. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises, and you, my friend, are trying to get out of yours. I'm going home. This is not good for my domestic situation. Jacques-Louis. We got to be a good father now. You know, when you're living a childless single life, you go revel, you know? But if you got a kid at home, you got a responsibility to that child and to your family to provide a good influence for them. Even if you did send your son to execution. See, look. Does this look like fun? Sure. But the wet eyes of a loving wife is a deeper sort of satisfaction the young man cannot understand or comprehend. I thought she had a gun. Uh-oh. Maybe I misread the situation. Do you not want to berate me like you always do? I'm glad you're home. Are you aware Frederic sometimes imagines you as a deep-sea sailor? He dreams that you visit distant countries and have wonderful adventures. But he would rather have you by his side on land. We all want that. I don't want to watch the storm blow your lifeboat away and bury it beneath the waves. There are no waves. Well, what about the waves of justice, milady? The storm is getting closer. Dark clouds already hang over the shore. Just wait until they finish building the guillotine. Your oars will break at once, and the waves will take you to a place you'll wish you'd never set foot on. Is this Maz Kanata? A place without us. Alright, well, there's another lesson to be learned here, for the record, which is that, you know, if you got a history of degenerate gambling and revelry, one night where you go home and eat a dinner that she cooked for you, that's not good enough to make up for years of neglect. So, you know, it's going to be a long process. We're building the house one brick at a time, you know? Your family loves you, but we won't find you in the darkness that has already begun to reach for you. All right. The influence of your actions in court. Bernard, he's lost us a little. Aldrich, positive. Hold on. Our child loves us more. That's the most important thing. Oh, one of them represents the revolutionaries. One of them represents the politicians, maybe? Okay. How shall we spend the rest of the day? Each action will affect other members of the family as well as their attitude towards you. Each character's attitude can provide you with or deprive you with certain bonuses. Your youngest son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more. I told you. All right. I would say that probably, I mean, like, what about evening stroll? With, I mean, it's a dating sim now, dude. Evening stroll with your son. Oh, this shows the way that things change. Hello, Tomo. Welcome to the office, buddy. Oh, he's real mad. My son! You take your family on an evening stroll around Paris. Tomo! Tomo sometimes gets the little, the horse meow. Especially right after he wakes up. He's like, meow. Today the people of Paris commemorate Jacques-Guillaume Simenou, mayor of Étampes. He was lynched by a furious mob for performing his duties to France. This march shall symbolize the unity of our society and the hope the most violent stage of the revolution is past us. Let us make sure that no other loyal servant of France becomes a victim of such hatred ever again. All right. Sorry to hear that, Jacques. Simoneau was a good, loyal officer. Those bastards lynched him for observing the law. Will you join me at the march? So the thing is, I know how this goes in real life, but I'm a steward of the criminal code. We can't abide mob justice out of a sense of self-preservation. The spirit of France is not only liberté, but also liberty with responsibility. We ought to show that we oppose the self-appointed executioners and stand alongside of victims. I wonder why the king has taken the trouble to show up. King Louis XVI marching arm in arm with the people of Paris? That's not how you say it. That is unexpected. King Louis. Oh no, dude. He's here. Continue, please. I am merely an observer. Do not change your habits for me. I heard a thing or two about a young and ambitious judge of the tribunal. I was curious whether he is guided by justice or by, entertainment, as some would say. Well. Alrighty. Let's take a look at today's news first. In the city, only the dead are free of addiction. What do you care about people's idle gossip? Sounds... That's the secret, brother. That's year 3 of being a Twitch streamer. Okay. Now. For Papa with a heart. Good relationship with younger son. Your younger son adores you like he used to back in better days. Been the star so many plays. Monsieur Pochard et moi. Alright, you could leave, Tomo. Thanks for visiting. I appreciate it. Oh, what do we got going on in here? Neighborhood gossip. Womp womp. Nobody cares. Select the person to view detailed information about them. That's all right. That won't be necessary. All right, let's look at the case file here. The defendant is Olivier Moulet. I'm leaning a little bit heavy on the fake French accent. It's Olivier Mugler. A 65-year-old master locksmith who is famed among Parisian burglars as an expert on unopenable locks. Last month, he was commissioned by the owners of a Parisian glasswork, Jean Roux, Louis Roux, and Ferdinand Salant, to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest creation as thief-proof. Shortly following their completion, the industrialist houses were hit with a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Villon. The thief from Orléans was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salant. An expensive Turgot map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialist marked on it was found on the deceased. Surprisingly, Salant had given Mugler an identical map as an advance payment. Okay. This deposit was in addition to the agreed remuneration from all the employers. Take me to page 2. Further interesting information came from the owner of the Ginger, I honestly thought that said Marriott, the Ginger Margot Inn. She recalled that on a night preceding the burglary, the locksmith met there with a man she didn't recognize. Based on her description, we were able to identify him as the aforementioned Hector Villon. The men allegedly engaged in an evening of drinking sponsored by Mugler. Okay. So what do you're thinking, and we also found a map of Paris anyway. You're thinking that right now it definitely looks like Mugler built the chests and then paid Ant-Man, aka noted cat burglar Scott Lang, to break into the houses of the people that he gave the locks to and steal their goods. It's honestly looking pretty bad so far. Let's try to find some inconsistencies, okay? Accusation, evidence, offender's personality, extenuating circumstances, course of events. We got 8 questions to reveal, dude. Let's start. Course of events, series of burglaries. That's an easy one. Robbing the bourgeoisie is no crime. Do we not have any jury selection? Do Isn't this what the screening process is for? According to the case file, you are citizen Olivier Mugler. Is that correct? Indeed it is, Monsieur le Juge. May I have a request? I would like to sit down. I'm an old man, you see. Basic respect for the judiciary requires that you remain standing. I mean, I feel like I would like to give him a chair, honestly. Basic respect for the judiciary requires that you remain standing, however. Do the names Salam, Rud, and Ru mean anything to you? Why are you so determined to harass an old man? They sound like the names of my debtors. Why is the rich guy on the chair? Well, he's the king. You gotta, you know, respect them. They're the victims of activities you conducted. You mean locksmithing? You know, he's not really giving us too much right now. I think I'm going to hit you with a little drunken evening offender's personality. Wrong. Wrong again, buddy. Well, map and evidence is an easy one. Do you recognize this map? No, I don't recall ever seeing it before. Ferdinand Salon claims that he gave you this map as advance payment for your services. He claims what? That wicked wretch of a second-rate merchant, he gave me a scrap of paper as payment for making 3 locks, and says it's supposed to be worth more than the 3,000 francs he owes me? An honest laborer is being judged while frauds remain at large. Silence. So this map does belong to you. It doesn't. Okay, so where is the map you received from Citizen Salon? I lost it, but it wasn't even worth a loaf of bread, so I surely won't shed a tear. But if you have it, maybe you stole it from me. You better make a note that Olivier Mugler demands remuneration from Rude Ruin Salon. Okay, he is old. Did you tell Hector Vion how to open the locks in the victim's trunks? I understand what you're implying, but consider this. If he sold the secret of my locks, then my business would be over. Word spreads fast among thieves. Okay? That's a very valid argument, honestly. Maybe it was the cops. And scene. He made a fair point here. I can't deny that. Alright. Course of events. Drunken evening. Easy. That's very simple. Did you know Hector Vion before? This is the first time I've heard the name. And yet, you went out drinking with him. You were seen draining several bottles of wine together at the Ginger Margot Inn. Is that a crime? No, but the question is, why are you denying it now? Was your drinking spree just a deception for discussing the burglary? Nobody I had a drink with introduced themselves as Hector. I didn't plan any heist with the Hector, Victor, or Hugo. I'm a locksmith and I earn good money from it. Burglaries are for vagrants without a job. I don't know, man. No, that's not a good point. If you say that's a good point, you should not be part of the Justice Department. The man's just spinning his wheels. That doesn't mean he's guilty, but he's just spinning his wheels. Okay, let's think about this. There's marks on the map. There's a famous thief. Master locksmith. Lock construction seems like a course of events. You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. Who installed them? It was me, naturally, and all in agreement with the contract, sorry. My job was to prepare and install the locks, and the employer was only to come and see whether the work was completed and pay, of course. Was the installation carried out at your workshop? No, on site at the client's property. None of those idlers bothered to deliver the trunks to my workshop, so I had to strain my old legs. Does that mean you knew the addresses of the victims? How else would I get there? Blindfolded and on a wagon. And then if this was Game of Thrones, everyone would go, ha, 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 ta, 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 ta. Good one. All right. Order in my courtroom, please. So you gotta, I mean, I feel like marks on the map is evidence, personally. Let's give that a shot. Were you the one who marked the addresses of the 3 victims on the map? I didn't mark anything. The houses of your clients are marked on the map. I don't know who marked them. Maybe you should ask the person you found the map on. Oh, wait, he's dead. Maybe the court has made... They actually did accuse the police. Maybe the court made the marks and has no memory of doing so? Do you not think there are too many coincidences in your story? You obtain the map but lose it, and then it is found on the thief who has robbed your clients? I know nothing of coincidences. I only make locks. Oh, the jury's like... Put him away, dude. So I think he's innocent, to be honest. I think he is just a drunk old fool who said too much at a night of glorious revelry. That doesn't make him guilty. It makes him negligent. But let's see. We got 3 more questions to hopefully unveil here. I mean, I'm thinking offender's personality master locksmith. Let's do it. How much did you charge for your services? 3,000 francs. Tidy sum, that is. I didn't realize it's a pantomime. That is quite a substantial fee. Indeed, that's how much it costs to have high-quality locks made by a master with nearly 50 years of experience. And those bastards never paid me a single franc. The victims did not pay you the agreed amount? Not a franc. I'd beat that money right out of them, but I'm too old for that. You know what? As the jury goes towards innocence, I go towards guilty. Here's the way I'm starting. There's a motive now. The dude was not paid. And as a result, he goes and talks to the master thief and says, hey, get my money. Is it theft if they owed it to him? Well, it's robbery, yes. Absolutely. Master locksmith. Accusation? I've never done accusation. Accuse him of being not a master locksmith? You know what? We got a mistake. Let's give it a try. We cannot. We cannot. Alright, they saved me from making a mistake somehow. Extenuating circumstances? I don't really see how it applies, but maybe. Okay. Maybe he's just old, so he forgot. Rumor has it you're one of the best locksmiths in Paris. I should deny it for modesty's sake, but I will not. That cannot be true, though, as a random thief from Orléans was able to easily open your locks. Well, then, he must have been one of the best thieves in Orléans. Let's be serious, Monsieur le Juge. Every lock can be picked with the right talents, even my locks. Okay? I mean, it's honestly a fair assessment. Famous thief. Well, we're going to get the question for sure. It's either course of events or evidence. Did you give Hector Villon the map? With the victims' houses marked on it. I gave nothing to Achilles, Hector, or any other Greek. That doesn't answer the question, dude. Call in the witness, Citizen Jean Rude. That's not... I didn't ask you if you gave it to Achilles or Hector or Agamemnon or Menelaus. You're not here to be a comedian, okay? Now I'm leaning towards guilt, honestly. Jean Rude in the flesh. You will not speak unless called upon. Alright. What went missing during the burglary? My house was the first one to be robbed, and in my case it was mostly valuables. At Rue's house, he will not say it himself, and I do not want to go to prison. It was the letters he had exchanged over the years with King Louis. No wonder he's here. Salon did not lose a thing. He shot the vermin in the act. That's what he said. What happened to the items he had stolen? That still remains unknown. According to Salon, Hector had nothing to do with him. Ferdinand suspects he had hidden the other valuables somewhere. He hid the other items before robbing the last house? Strange. Is it? Advance payment in the form of a map. Its disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and a lack of payment for services. It all makes for a rather strange story, a suspicious one too. I do not. What are you mumbling? If I say something, will I be free? What's happening? He knows something! Please testify what you know immediately. It's got the angry text bubbles. The map was Salon's idea. He told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the locksmith and proposed that Hector steal it. What? Dude, who needs lawyers? Or police for that matter. And he did? Indeed, but then the bastard robbed us. Later we were forced by Salon not to pay the locksmith because he sent the thief after us. And that's where it all went down the drain. That's the bourgeoisie for you. He fooled them all in one fell swoop. It sounds like Citizen Salon had everything planned. However, there is no evidence to support the claim. Perhaps it is Citizen Rude that is plotting against his partner and wants to frame him. And Vion is dead, so he will not be able to shed light on any of this. Please restrain yourself. The testimony of a witness is still not evidence. Neither of Citizen Salon's guilt nor of your innocence. You know, I gotta agree with the jury on this one. We are not beyond a reasonable doubt. Given the testimony of the one other witness in the case, I cannot in good conscience render a guilty verdict here. It wouldn't be right. As long as a shred of doubt remains in my mind, you will be acquitted, though the circumstances are quite coincidental in nature. You will be freed. The verdict for Citizen Olivier Mugler is not guilty. Lead the defendant away. Bravo, Mugler! Away with the bourgeoisie! To be honest, this does bear the marks of social justice. They would not pay him, so he had them robbed. There is balance here. Pardon me? Did you not follow the testimony? This guy, he should be removed from the bench. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I'm gonna find that guy guilty. Look, an authentic map by Turgot. It would be a pity if it rotted in a safe deposit box. We cannot do that. These are court deposits. Well, Mathilde did tell me long ago to take care of my study at home. There you go. I know someone who can remove those marks without damaging the map. We can't take this. This is the product of the state now. We have a duty.
King Louis XVI. There were people who truly loved him. He reminded the French they had noble ancestors. Do not be manipulated by people who are not bearing the burden of responsibility.
Yeah, Chad.
This saddened me. Someone had advised him to say that. Someone who was well aware of the cold, inevitable wind of change. I did not pity the king, but those who will come after him, as they will not have great ancestors.
Whatever you say, brother. Frenchmen marched in the streets of Paris side by side, one line after another, to commemorate Jacques-Guillaume Simenou, mayor of Étampes. He was murdered by a furious mob, punished for a law he did not enact but was obliged to observe. Freedom of speech killed him. If we understand this as the right to cast stones to show one's discontent, the right to murder people because you would deem them responsible for your miserable life, surely the people of Paris would prefer if we said that nothing happened. We're marching, brother. Well, this dude's got the Bilbo Baggins pipe. Your son is rather good with the viola. He is both talented and enthusiastic. I would prefer that he was enthusiastic about the law books I gave him. He's like 8 years old, dude. Maybe his destiny is to become an artist, not a lawyer. Mother likes to hear me playing, and there is nothing more boring than the law. Oh, this son! Okay. It's a different story. Also, that's not a viola. I'm pretty sure that that's a knife and a fork. See, he would rather let his career rely on the humors of the people. There are many ways to rescue France, believe me. Our country desperately needs something to ennoble it. The power is in the hands of simple, illiterate people. Let him rescue their souls with music. This is better than boring laws and clauses. See what you are doing? You are spoiling my child. I do not have my own children to spoil, so I'm focusing on yours. Speaking of which... Oh, no, 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 no. What are we... What do you mean, speaking of which? After various important events, you may find yourself with an action forced upon you. On this day, you become the victim of your own decisions. Uh-oh. Well, si maintenant. Let's do it, boys. Bigger fan? Lesser fan? This one annoys me, madame. I'm standing up for my principles. Look at, he buffed him. Thank you. Thank you, my young son.
That is our new symbol of freedom. You can still smell the fresh wood.
Do you feel free looking at it?
Individuals like us do not need symbols, but France does. Did you hear the news of the day? People are running around like headless chickens and yelling about Louis and his entourage escaping Paris.
So, we will not be enjoying the aroma of fresh wood for long.
Monuments like that are not installed solely for the purpose of punishing thieves or lesser aristocrats.
Do you think it wants to taste royal blood?
Louis's flight was a stupid move, yet it seems it was planned. One of us will sacrifice him. That is, if they catch him.
Is that why Louis visited us at the court? To manipulate us?
Maybe deep in his heart he felt what the builders of the guillotine did. That someone has to be exposed as a traitor, even if there is none.
Welcome, Citizen Fidel. My name is Antoine Quentin Fouquier. You couldn't have just called him, like, Jacques Villeneuve. I could muster the enunciation required for that, but this is a constant battle between my tongue and my pharynx. I am the public prosecutor that has been assigned to assist at every tribunal trial starting from today. Oh, gosh darn it. It was all going fine. It was a little Judge Judy sort of situation until you got the lawyers involved. I should warn you that I am uncompromising, although I hope that we quickly find common ground. In happier news, the construction of the guillotine has been finished. We may begin using it today. Yes, we have seen it. Sadly, we knew all along. The king is gone. Treason. Anyone with information about his whereabouts should immediately disclose it to the authorities. Thanks, Robespierre. Dude's wearing a baseball jacket. Okay, well, we'll do one more case today. Remember, we got a good relationship with our younger son. How we looking in the hierarchy here? Okay, very little has changed. No news today. Jean Hébert, the famous street urchin. Well, hold on, what does this mean? Oh, fair enough. Who killed the governor of the Bastille, Delaunay, and carried his head on a pike, has recently been detained. After the triumph of the revolution, he reached the nadir of his life. Though many people still consider him a hero, they do not care about the Parisian archives that are filled with complaints about thefts, robberies, and assaults on women. The current case is much graver, as Hébert is accused of raping 16-year-old Élodie de Pontalba. The charges were brought by the victim's father, Baron Thomas de Pontalba. It is widely known that de Pontalba was a relative and friend of Governor Delaunay. The crime allegedly took place in the tenement belonging to the victim's family. Jean was detained by people working outside while trying to escape the building. Élodie gave a written statement saying the incident took place on holiday, and Jean used the absence of the Baron and most of the servants to break into the tenement. Once he was inside, he entered the room and committed the act. The incident was witnessed by Michel, Elodie's governess. Michel, did you consider intervening? It was she who alarmed the workers about disturbing noises coming from her charge's room. A number of witnesses felt obliged to inform us that Michel is known for her psychotic jealousy and her numerous romances with the people of France. The results of the medical examination: minor attrition of the genital area, bruising and hemorrhaging of the arm, spine, and face. Dr. P. Gibier. All right. I gotta say, you came in here with a baseball jacket, and I thought maybe this is an upstanding young individual. You got an uphill battle here. They're bringing in Jean. We're with you, Jean. Please introduce yourself. Jean Hubert, the conqueror of the Bastille and vanquisher of the tyrant Delaunay, the hero of all Parisians. Jean Hubert. Uh-oh. Everybody wants an innocent verdict. You are accused of raping Miss Elodie de Pontalba, daughter of Baron Thomas de Pontalba. Do you plead guilty? I don't plead anything. That bourgeoisie and her counter-revolutionary father are filthy liars. We need to bear in mind the possibility of criminal collusion in these charges. I like that all of a sudden every defense has now become, hey, fuck the rich people. Wait a minute. He's right. That's right. Those rich swines love their machinations. The evidence speaks against you. Girlish duplicity and the de Pontalba plots prove nothing. Hold on. All Michel's testimonies. Usually in the mornings, Miss Elodie and I read. However, the chef had that day off, so I was preparing tea. Then I heard her screaming. I ran to her room but stopped when I heard a male voice. I was scared and asked for help. All right. Well, we gotta let's get some stuff going on here. So there's a trap on this one. I think famous defendant, offender's personality. That's the first step. Probably multiple complaints. Offender's personality. Famous defendant, motive. Die. The governor of the Bastille's relatives. Motive. Discovered. Break-in. That's extenuating circumstances. Wrong again. Okay, you know what? It's time to ask some questions. Did you know that Baron de Pontalba is a governor? Or is a relative of the deceased governor Delaunay? No, but that explains a lot. The whole case was conjured up by de Pontalba. He wants to get rid of me because I freed France from a tyrant. Delaunay's family should have been executed a long time ago. Can we just close the courtroom? So you would not call rape an instrument in the war against the monarchists? Monarchists should be decapitated, and their daughters should be thanking the heroes of the revolution. This is, I gotta be honest, Jean Hubert, that's in poor taste. It reflects poorly on your character. And you in the audience as well. Did you choose Mrs. de Pontalba for your victim because she's related to Delaunay? I didn't know they were related. Then why her? She was soft-skinned, young, and very eager, if you really want to know. He's a slime ball, dude. Oh! They want blood. It happened so fast. All right, I think we got to go for some other questions, honestly. I mean, he seems pretty unrepentant. The revolutionaries are not going to be happy, though. Just thinking. Just thinking. What do you think about a Q's famous defendant? Nah. 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 But why? You're accusing him of being famous? I mean, I'm not really the one levying the accusations. That's like the police, right? Elodie and motive? Not possible, unfortunately. Elodie and testimony? She didn't testify. But no. No more mistakes able to be made. She didn't. This is why it's the testimony was made by All Michel. Why did I let chat step into the role of the judiciary? Feel like I gotta go. Break-in method. Okay. Famous defendant. I don't know. There's nothing there. Nothing there strikes me. Oh, that was a trap, dude. All right, what do you got for me? Honestly, I don't really want to spin the jury towards innocence when instead they already want him dead, and I want him dead too. So, like, if I ask the question related to proving his innocence, it's not going to work out too well for me. Send him? I agree. This man's asking. Just look at his face. He's asking to be sent, dude. The jury votes in favor of the immediate decapitation of the defendant. It's a Shkreli situation, dude. Yo, the common folk are not going to be too pleased about it. We'll just give him a little prison time. And say we'll give him a little compromise. Send him to prison. Did the defendant confess to the crime? Yes. How did they explain signs of assault on the victim's body? Didn't explain. Did he attempt to explain the background? He did. Uh-oh. We gotta do some... Might not have done so well on this one. Citizen Ibert will go to jail. Take him away. Is that all? He should pay with his head. Or more than just his head. And does it matter what we have to say? You better take us into account in the future. Look. 1 out of 3. Bad job. Bad job. That's fair. Uh-oh. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Enemy at the courthouse. The jury noticed you making the wrong decisions and foregoing justice. Bad official. Rumors are spreading about your careless approach to your duties. But my son still, he adores me. Just like in better days. Anyway, that's We the Revolution. Seems very interesting so far. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to play Hypnospace Outlaws. Without an S at the end. Hypnospace Outlaw. See you in 90 seconds or so. I'm back. We're playing some Hypnospace Outlaw. I have watched Kate play about 15 minutes of this. I have an understanding to some extent of what Hypnospace Outlaw is about. As I understand it, you are an internet cop in the 1990s trying to stop rampant internet crimes. I will say, right out of the gate, it is not being noticed by OBS. You have to use a display capture on this bad boy. I'll tell you, I absolutely hate that. Given the problem we had earlier on yesterday's stream about having to use display capture, strikes me as extremely annoying. I also had to use display capture. No, don't close. Just I have to put it in windowed mode first. Ah! It also resets at full volume. Also hate that. Not a huge fan of that so far. Why would it not? Oh, I don't know. Does it play about, 1,200 games a year and about 0% of them do that? But what do I know? Okay. That's not true. You play games do that sometimes. Now, if you'll give me a moment. I have to get into the game to hit the options menu. Apparently. Don't give me an opening cutscene, you son of a bitch. You let me... Is this made in Unity? Can I give you an Alt-Tab? Or, sorry, an Alt-Enter? I can give you an Alt-Enter, but then it makes the game run at a very, very tiny window inside the center of your screen. Okay, that's fine. What you're going to do, you're going to click on this Settings button. Display. Yo, this is made in Construct 2. That's... I'm hitting you with something for real. That's amazing. Simultaneously, that also completely explains the dereliction in options menu here. You gotta give me 1 second. I gotta figure out what these icons here mean. One of them is stretch to window, which I appreciate. It's actually extremely valuable. I didn't want full screen on that one, so okay, that's fine. We can live with this. Now, you give me a minute here. That also probably explains the volume. You're absolutely right. Okay. So there's one more step here you got to do, and that's display capture, hypno. And then I don't know if you remember this. We were having problems yesterday getting window capture to work, or display capture to work in the first place. For some reason, it's just, it doesn't want to cooperate. The way we got it to work for Codenames yesterday is turning off hardware acceleration in Chrome and then going to a different sort of capture, window capture. If window capture does not work for this game, which it appears that it does not, we got to do display capture, but in OBS, display capture has been real spotty lately. So it's not really, it's not working. No, Kate uses XSplit, which is fine. The problem here is, I mean, I could start with, I could restart OBS. The only problem with restarting OBS is that it leads to a situation where I get 20 or 30 tweets that are like, where's the VOD? When the VOD exists in the video manager section of the game. So, I guess for now, I'll restart OBS, and I'll be back in a moment. Stay optimistic, but I'm a little bit... I'm like 50-50 right now. I'm giving it a yellow light. I'll see you in a moment.